was Tucker Carlson. You may remember him from the 8 o'clock hour here. Talking about how the assassination attempt completely transformed Donald Trump into a national leader. And the bravery he showed with the fists in the air, that courage was infectious, and didn't use that moment to inflame the country, use that moment to unify the country. And he will represent the people, something democracy should be all about. And said, God is among us. Anchor of the story, Martha McCallum, and Fox News contributor Karl Rove join me now. People are, not just Tucker, but many people this evening and all week, talking about Trump's humanity. Last night we heard from his granddaughter, Kai. Let's listen to this.
He calls me during the middle of the school day to ask how my golf game is going and tells me all about his. But then I have to remind him that I'm in school and I'll have to call him back later. When we play golf together, if I'm not on his team, he'll try to get inside of my head. I know. And he's always surprised that I don't let him get to me. But I have to remind him I'm a Trump too.
Just the softening of Donald Trump, the man. You've seen a lot of that this week, Martha.
We have. Kai was on my show today, and she said, I'm with him all the time. I said, what do you think when you hear from people, that they present your grandfather in a way that doesn't feel real to you? She's like, well, I'm with him all the time because we play golf all the time. And, absolutely, it humanizes him. I think you're hearing a lot of these softer side of him stories that I think were much more obvious before 2016. As soon as he won, as soon as he had the audacity of beating Hillary Clinton,
I think they're still mad about that.
Turn him into a monster, and that has been the battle of the last.
They are
several
mad
years,
that
through
he
impeachment,
had the
through
nerve to meet her,
and then with a bullet flying by his head. And I thought Tucker made a good point about the historical context of this. Sometimes history takes the reins itself, and an action happens, something happens, whether it's World War II or 9/11, right? And you think about George Bush on the fire truck, and that moment that brought everyone together. And we'll see what happens tonight. But the assassination attempt is a catalyst for this discussion. But we have seen something deeper tapped into here over the course of this week about what people want in the future. I also thought it was great when Tucker said, it's going to be okay, and that there's a whole lot of love in the world. I think that's a theme that we're hearing a lot of, Jesse.
And he came into the Reagan montage. Are you better off 4 years after this? You've seen that comparison. It's as simple as black and white, Karl. And when you add the emotion to it, this has been a very powerful convention.
Yeah, absolutely. And tonight, he doesn't need to dwell on the problems because he's pushing on an open door. We all know about him. He just needs to say, we need to do something about it, and here's what I'm going to do, and here's another problem, and touch on it lightly. But I think you touched on a more important thing, which is he has been humanized. That was a powerful, his granddaughter was powerful. In fact, at lunch today, her father happened to put his head in the room, and he said, she really does spend more time than any of his children or any other grandchildren because they play golf all the time. And she apparently gives her grandfather a run for the money, which is why he tries to get in her head. But you know what? The most important person to humanize Donald Trump is Donald Trump tonight. If he's not going to mention Biden, brilliant. But we need to see, as only we can see, running for president is like it's like being the emperor's new clothes. We see you as you really are, and this is a chance for him to be seen in that way.
And he has the bandage on his ear that probably physically reminds him of that humility. Karl,
I want to see the ear. I'm sorry.
Hulk Hogan and Donald Trump, night 4 of the RNC continues after this.
I want to see his ear.
Hulk Hogan minutes away, but everybody's looking forward to former President Trump's first major speech since he was shot on Saturday. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem and Florida Congressman Byron Donalds join me now. So we're looking at the speech, and he's going to do and say something that he has never, ever done before. What's going to happen?
I think it's going to be about the future of the country. It's going to be about not just making America great, but what that truly means to the American people. It's going to be a speech about leadership, not from him, but what the country's capable of if we unite. I think that's where we're going tonight. It's going to be
I
a
don't
great
know.
speech
It starts
from
at
Donald
9.
Trump.
It's going to be about the
Basically.
people. I'm sure he'll talk about himself a little bit, as most politicians do, but this connection that he's formed and it continues to form with the American people is only getting stronger. He'll lean into that.
That's what's going to be special about tonight. Is typically in politics, it's been divisive. It's been in conventions of the past, a speech to Republicans. Tonight's speech will be a speech for all Americans. It will be a speech for every single person that lives here and tell stories that really show them who Donald Trump is and why he needs to be back in the White House.
So how do you see the
See,
Republican
Hillary
Party
called us
changing,
horrible.
Congressman?
She didn't want our vote.
We still have a
Donald
party
Trump
of
calls us Americans.
conservative philosophies, conservative principles, but the move into populism, and that move into populism, what it's really generated is
I'm not
pressure on
deplorable.
elected officials to actually do the thing when you get elected, to not wait and give speeches, and it's really galvanized
jerk.
voters from across the framework, across demographic lines, across economic lines, to a party that is responsive but still have principles that support a constitutional republic.
Governor, imagine that, populism actually invigorating democracy.
I think we have a window of time here where the country's united to actually follow through and do the big changes that Byron's talking about and prove to the American people that we're serious, we can do this together. If we don't take action and actually implement the policies after we put Donald Trump back in the White House, then the American people
Soon,
will
Hulk
lose their
Hogan to
trust again.
speak.
Yeah, there's no turning back. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Johnny now, on the floor, talking with some delegates. Let's go to Johnny.
All right, Jesse, it's electric down here tonight. It's not MAGA, it's MAGOA. Make America Great Once Again.
MAGOA.
Why do we need to make America great once again?
We need to secure that border and get the economy
Oh my
going.
gosh, that's funny.
All right, so what do you got?
It's a patch to show that President Trump is not alone. And here, I got you one right here, man.
All right, we got one. Let's put it on myself, too. We're wearing an ear patch in solidarity. Now, Jesse,
Y'all
I
stop
found
it.
one of your neighbors from New Jersey.
Listen, Jesse, Willie the Whale needs to live. Donald Trump has got to stop these windmills on day one. Build a wall, stop the windmills. I need to go to the beach and sit on the beach and see the ocean, not windmills.
And we need to send Joe Biden back to the beach. And we have Wisconsin. We've been having a great time here in Wisconsin. We got a cheesehead. You're going to miss us?
I'm gonna miss you guys. I've had a blast, and we really miss you. And not to sound cheesy, but Wisconsin loves President Trump.
President Trump speaking tonight, and he says he's not saying the B word.
What's the B word?
Biden.
It's a nightmare we all want to forget. It's time to look to the future, and the future is
What's the
President
B
Trump
word?
and J.D. Vance.
Well,
Oh
we're
my
looking into the
gosh.
future, but let's take a look into the past for a second. We have Elvis also in the house. Elvis, how we doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. You're fantastic audience.
We found out President Trump loves music. Can you warm him up?
Anything for the king of MAGA, from the king of rock and roll. You ain't knowing what I have, Lord. You're striking on time. You ain't never...
All right.
Oh
well,
my
Jesse,
gosh.
one message to you. What are we saying to Jesse? Jesse?
Thank you, Johnny.
Johnny's where all Jesse.
Cheeseheads and Elvis is in the building. Also,
Prissy,
Sean Hannity.
they are a
Kind
mess,
of like
girl.
Elvis in a way, same hair. But even a bigger star.
What's with that? Look at that hair. You have hair like
I mean,
him. What are you talking
have
about?
Elvis hair. I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no.
It's not even about the hair, Sean.
Perfect.
It's not even about the shit. There's a new star, bigger than you, bigger than Elvis.
All right, we should, if we can pan towards.
mean, oh my gosh,
the
in the
rock
house.
star. By the way, my first guest tonight, scratch golfer.
No
On
way.
top of, oh
Scratch
yeah,
golfer.
big time. One of the top recruits in America. Every school in the country wants her. And
Better than your father, better than your grandfather.
Please,
disclose that right now.
Before
this is a really important question. Have you ever beat your grandfather?
I don't know. I can't say.
It's
He'll get mad.
She's already a politician.
You know, it's so funny. I said there, your family's not competitive at all.
Oh, no, not at all.
Not at all.
No.
Never lets you win, ever.
Great show, by the
Thank
way.
you very much, Sean.
Great
Good to
first
see you.
The draft might be over soon.
convention
I
for you.
appreciate it.
You're not on the floor anymore.
I learned it by watching you.
All right, okay, yeah.
Right.
Anyway,
Thank you so much.
well, Welcome to Hannity, and we are back. We are in beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin for the final night of what has been a very powerful Republican National Convention. We're only moments away from hearing from Hulk Hogan, Franklin Graham, Eric Trump are addressing the RNC, and coming up, the 45th and possibly 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, will take the stage. Behind me, less than 1 week after getting shot during an assassination attempt in Pennsylvania. And apparently, according to sources, he likely may not even mention Biden's name.
Well, good. Don't mention it.
Meanwhile, Operation Dump and Destroy Joe Biden is picking up steam. You have Pelosi, you have Schumer's, now Hakeem Jeffries, and now even Barack Obama. They want Joe gone, disenfranchising in the process every Democratic primary voter in their party. They want to toss him to the side, kind of like what they did in 2016. And according to conflicting reports tonight, Biden might or might not give in, maybe even step down as early as this weekend, maybe Sunday, according to some reports. And
I think
so
he's going to pull
will Joe
out.
Biden once again,
But he'll
bow
still
to the
remain
Democratic
president.
Party elites, or will he actually stand up for the millions of Americans across the country who voted for him in the primary? We'll monitor tonight Operation Dump and Destroy Joe Biden in the coming days. But first, here with more on the man of the hour, Donald Trump, RNC co-chair Laura Trump, and the president's granddaughter, Kai Trump, is with us.
I love the Trump family.
I know. Do I even need to say anything? This is for
No, not really.
She was incredible last night, and
She
we are
was.
so proud in our family of Kai. No one more proud, of course, than her dad and Grandpa, my father-in-law. What an amazing job. I think we're going to see her a lot in the future, Kai.
I think so.
I hate to tell you.
I hate to welcome to the family
Right.
business, right?
Yeah.
It's such a delight to have you. So your dad was on with me the other night, and well, actually he was on radio today, and he told me the story. You called your dad, and you said, "I'd like to give a speech."
Yes, on Monday I did.
Tell me,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
this is after your grandpa was shot.
Yes.
Scary. You were fishing with your dad.
Yeah, I was fishing on the boat with my dad. We were with my friends, and then his phone was buzzing. He picked up, and then the news broke, and no one knew for like 90 minutes what was really going on. And all we knew was that he was shot, and that's it.
What was that like for you?
It was scary. It was really scary. Like, I wish no one would ever go through that, ever. So.
I was watching, and Laura, I told you this, and the people I was with, I said they just killed him. Because I saw the
I
bullet,
was
and
so
thought the
scared of
bullet hit
that.
the head. I can't believe it just pierced his ear. Now,
That
I
would've
have
been
talked to your grandfather
Civil
about
War.
you, and he brags
Without
about
end.
you all the time. You know that, right?
Yes, I do.
You know, I've got a granddaughter. She's scratched. She's not as good as me, but she's scratched. Does he say that to you?
He does, yes.
Okay, America really does need to know the truth because you are a competitive family. Have you beaten your grandpa on the golf course in a head-to-head match?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm gonna leave it like that, just maybe.
What a good granddaughter.
What a great, that's a great
Oh my
granddaughter.
gosh. And can I tell you what I loved about Kai's speech? It's so true. The candy and soda.
Oh, the
This is-
Hershey bars,
This
always.
is the thing, my kids love going to visit Grandpa, and they go straight in. He's got a bowl of candy in his office, and he loves to dose them up with candy and then hand them back to
Wait a
me.
minute, I go to his office. He doesn't give me
I know
anything.
you're missing out, Sean. I'm sorry to
Well,
tell you.
come on. What's
You gotta be a
and I was on
grandkid,
the Trump
Sean.
train early.
I know you deserve the candy.
Maybe on something, really. You got a big decision. You got college coming up. You
Yes.
excited about that?
I am very excited, yeah.
I'm not going to get into where you're thinking about going, but a lot of colleges are recruiting you. Is that true?
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
exciting, right?
Yeah, it is. I'm excited.
Yeah.
See where I go in the future.
What was it like for you on that stage with that crowd?
And
Did you know
her
that
uncle
tens of
is
millions
just a
of
year and a
Americans
half
were
older
watching you?
than her.
I did.
Uncle
but
Barron.
Once I got out there, it was just all from the heart. It just flowed really easily. I was nervous beforehand, but afterwards, I got out there and I was just able to do it. And
Was
I
that like
I was
training?
as nervous.
Was that like training a 30-foot putt?
Kind of, yeah.
Is that the same thing?
Yeah.
And you're up there. Your dad told me something else. He said it was your first public speech.
Yes, ever.
That's
It was
a
big one.
That's a really small venue to start out on.
Oh yeah. for sure.
We go big in the Trump family.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And by
know.
the way, they don't tell any of us what to do. In 2016, they just threw us out on the campaign trail. We're just throwing Kai into the mix at the Republican National Convention, and she's nailing it. So
No, but the
She
best part
did.
of the story to me is that you asked your dad, and there's two things that your dad said to me. You called, and my daughter was 17. My 17-year-old daughter rarely called and said, Dad, you want to go fishing? Or Dad, you want to do anything? At that point, she's kind of becoming independent. What made you that day call your dad and say, Dad, you want to go fishing, and you brought your friends?
Yes. I just finished a golf tournament. I came in second place. And that next day, I didn't want to play golf. I just wanted a rest day. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you want to go fishing with my friends and whatever. And we went fishing. And it was awesome fishing. We got like 10 fish. And then
Good
What kind of
Lord.
fish?
I don't know. My dad's going to get mad. I don't know which one is which, but it was a
Your
fish.
dad's a big hunter and fisherman, like Eric's a big hunter,
Yeah.
big outdoor family. You did an amazing job. You showed poise and grace. I mean, you kind of dazzled the nation last night, and I hope you're very proud of that. I know your dad's proud, and I did talk to your grandpa. What do you call him, by the way?
Grandpa.
Grandpa.
Only grandpa.
Okay. I spoke to him. He's very proud of you.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
he was beaming. And I hear about all of your golf. By the way, you do know my granddaughter's a great golfer. You do know that. And I'm like, yes, you've told me. You do know that Laura's a rock star, right? I do.
he likes to brag about his family. I mean, this is the
He
point,
does.
Sean. My speech, Kai's speech, we wanted
I
to
know.
convey that this is a human being. The father-in-law that I know, the grandpa that Kai knows, and that my kids know. I think people forget that often, and so I'm so happy that people got to see this side of him.
It really is. And it was a big moment when you showed tremendous courage in what for a lot of people would be a high-pressure environment. I think you made it into the family business. I think I think you passed the
You
litmus
might want
test.
to say I'm sorry. I don't know.
I don't know. You guys have been through so much, and we've been friends a long time.
It's your
You're such a delightful young woman. America kind of fell in love with you last night, and you were the star of the show. So thank you for coming on. Laura, I know you guys got to get over to see Grandpa.
And see Eric Trump speak.
Eric, by the way,
I'm gonna get divorced if I don't go see my husband.
don't you go see your husband.
Yeah.
And by the way,
She'll get divorced if she don't go watch her husband.
Oh, that's
As I wrote both of you.
I love
Thank you
them.
both.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, joining us already in the box, Melania is going to be here tonight.
Yay.
And we're expecting her. When you see that patch on his ear,
Yeah.
because we have both known him for a very long time, I mean, it's kind of jarring to me. And what happened on Saturday just shocked. Well, anyway, it looks like it's him with his grandkids.
Aww.
I just interviewed Kai. And you talked to her.
Yes.
Isn't she great?
And the great thing is that she's part of the future. And frankly, we always look back, which is great. The Reagan era, we all grew up in the Reagan era. But Donald Trump is very aware that this is the future. This is a moment that we'll all be telling our grandkids
There's
about.
Tiffany.
And everyone who's in this room and everyone watching this
There's
across
Kai.
the country. Remember what happens tonight, because this is history, my friends.
This is the whole family. Now, we also will hear from Eric Trump. We just had Laura Trump on with Kai.
Princess
And if
Nahai.
you look at the lineup tonight, Hulk Hogan will be speaking tonight. Melania will be coming. Franklin Graham is on tonight. Kid Rock is performing. And Dana White makes the big introduction.
Is he wearing
I love
a tie?
Dana. Who, Dana?
Is he in a t-shirt as usual, or is he dressed up a little bit?
It doesn't matter to me because you
He's a
know
big
it's a big
following.
sport. Oh, we got to tell everybody about our video.
Okay, on Instagram, my Instagram, you will see Sean says,
What's your Instagram?
I don't know, what is my Instagram?
What is my
I guess
Instagram?
it's Laura Ingram.
No?
I don't know, it's Laura Ingram. But Sean says, well, punch. And so I started punching, and I actually have to go to a doctor because I think I've sprained my wrist.
All right, by the way, we're going to go back to the. I do miss our handoffs,
Yes.
for the record.
We have a lot of
Oh, you used to make fun of me.
Yeah, well, it's easy to make fun of you because, you know, you're such a big shot. I knew you when you were just a radio
I am such a big shot. Oh, yeah, that's
just a
me.
radio host. But I've got to say, Sean, from going back to 2000 and election night when the results were going back and forth,
Oh, my gosh,
the
I
radio
remember.
days to everything, this moment, you've been such an incredible inspiration to so many people across this country. You're such good friends with so many people in this room. There's a lot of love here for the president, frankly, for all people who have been part of this movement.
Laura Ingram Mango, weeknights at 7. You're the best. Thank you.
All right, great to see you, man.
All right, now we got to go back to the convention where professional wrestling legend Hulk Hogan is about to give his remark. Let's take those live.
Oh my god. I just died now. That's just. Okay.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. You know something? When I came here tonight, there was so much energy in this room. I felt maybe I was in Madison Square Garden getting ready to win another world title. Or maybe I thought the vibe was so intense, the energy was so crazy, it felt like maybe I was gonna press that no good sticky giant over my head and slam him through the mat, brother. But what I found out was I was in a room full of real Americans, brother. And at the end of the day, with our leader up there, my hero, that gladiator, we're gonna bring America back together. One real American at a time, brother. You know something? I've seen some great tag teams in my time. Hulk Hogan and, ooh, yeah, the Macho Man Randy Savage. But you know something? I see the greatest tag team of my life standing upon us, getting ready to straighten this country out for all the real Americans. You know, even though you guys are real Americans, you better get ready. Because when Donald J. Trump becomes the President of the United States,
what you gonna do,
all the real
brother?
Americans are gonna be nicknamed Trumpites. Because all the Trumpites are gonna be running wild for 4 years.
Oh my god.
So with the power of Donald J. Trump and all the Trumpites running wild, America is going to get back on track. And like Donald J. Trump said, America is going to be great again.
Bless his little old man heart.
You know, when I look out and I see all the real Americans, I think about how Donald Trump, his family was compromised. When I look out there and I see Donald Trump, I think about how his business was compromised. But what happened last week when they took a shot at my hero? And they tried to kill the next president of the United States. Enough was enough. And I said, let Trumpomania run wild, brother. Let Trumpomania rule again. Let
I can't deal with him.
Make America great again.
I can't deal with Hogan. Oh my god. Oh, Chrissy. Yes. What you gonna do, brother?
Trumpites? I didn't come here as Hulk Hogan, but I just had to give you a little taste. You know, my name is Terry Bollea. And as an entertainer, I love you too. And as an entertainer, I tried to stay out of politics. But after everything that's happened to our country over the past 4 years, and everything that happened last weekend, I can no longer stay silent. I'm here tonight because I want the world to know that Donald Trump is a real American hero. And I'm proud to support my hero as the next president of this United States.
Kill the computer.
You know, guys, I've known Donald Trump for over 35 years. You know, hold on a second, hold on. I just had a flashback. Man. This is really tripping. You know, the last time I was up on stage, Donald Trump was sitting at ringside at the Trump Plaza. I was bleeding like a pig, and I won the world title right in front of Donald J. Trump. And you know something? He's gonna win in November, and we're all gonna be champions again when he wins. And like I said, I've known that man for over 35 years, and he's always been the biggest patriot, and he still is. He's always told you exactly what he thought, and he still does, brother. And no matter the odds, he always finds a way to win. And when he's back in our White House, America is going to start winning again.
Oh my gosh.
You know, guys, over my career, I've been in the ring with some of the biggest, some of the baddest dudes on the planet. And I've squared off against warriors, ooh yeah, savages. And I've even, like I said, body slammed giants in the middle of the ring. And I know tough guys. But let me tell you something, brother. Donald Trump is the toughest of them all.
Oh, it's just so funny.
They've thrown everything at Donald Trump. All the investigations, the impeachments, the court cases, and he's still standing and kicking their butts. You know, we never had it better than the Trump years. Back then, we had a thriving economy. We had strong borders. We had safe streets. We had peace and respect around the world. But then we lost it all in a blink of an eye.
Yep.
Crime is out of control. The border is out of control. The price of food and gas and housing is out of control. And the only person who can clean this up is Donald Trump. You know, guys, I really, really love this country. And I've lived the American dream. And I want my kids, your kids, and all those little teeny Hulkamaniacs out there to live the American dream too.
Use something else.
This November, guys, we can save the American dream for everyone. And Donald Trump is the president who will get the job done. So all you criminals, all you lowlifes, all you scumbags, all you drug dealers, and all you crooked politicians need to answer one question, brother.
Oh no. What you gonna do?
What you gonna do
when
Donald Trump and all the Trumpomaniacs run wild on you, brother? God bless you, and thank you.
No doubt about it. Joining us for reaction, co-host of the hit show, The Five, Harold Ford Jr. Fox News contributor Kellyanne Conway. We'll get to Franklin Graham's speech in just a minute. Let's get some instant reaction. I do have a little bit of problem with some of your Democratic friends. Why have they been so silent about the assassination? There's not been a lot of outrage, no calls for investigation. That should be upsetting. That's not a red-blue, that's not a conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican issue, Harold. I know how you feel
I agree with you. First of all, thanks for having me on.
Great to have you.
Hogan gave a great speech. He is, as I shared with you, he's one of my childhood idols. Yeah. Being there was a big thing. Look, I think that the Secret Service Director
Carry his remarks.
Good evening, America.
Aww.
8 years ago,
Look at that.
my father sat our family down. He spoke of a nation in decline, of dreams slipping away,
Humanize that, bro.
of a future endangered by failed leadership and broken promises. It was in that moment I knew my father had made a decision that would forever change our lives. We realized he had chosen to step into the arena, to fight for the soul of America. He decided to leave behind the comforts of an unbelievable business empire, to leave behind everything he had ever built, to answer the call to serve our nation. Unlike his predecessor, it was not a decision born out of necessity. Unlike the current president, it was not a decision that would enrich his family. Rather, it was a decision made out of love for this country and a deep concern for America's future. My father was clear it would not be easy, that there would be a huge price to pay, and that the attacks would be vicious. Looking back, that was an understatement. The made-up Russia hoax, the sham impeachments, the efforts to destroy an unbelievable company, a company that I run today, the efforts to cancel us, to silence him, to gag his free speech, and to drag him through every radical left courthouse in America, to take his life.
Yep.
Yet through it all, he's shown unwavering courage and determination, not just in public, but in every private conversation with me and our family. He stood tall, fueled not by personal ambition, but by a profound love for this country and a love for all of you, the American people. That man is my father. That man is the 45th president and soon to be 47th president of the United States. That man is Donald J. Trump.
Fire Biden. Four more years.
Each time I've stood on this stage, America's been at a dire crossroads. In 2016, many people began to doubt the promise of America. Our economy was struggling, jobs were scarce, our standing on the world stage was weak at best. Veterans were forgotten, our military was in shambles, our educational system was broken, ranked 30th in the world. He could no longer tolerate an inept administration that handed $150 billion to Iran, a country that chants death to America, or witness a continued attacks on our Constitution and our religious liberty, or see the disrespect shown to our unbelievable law enforcement officers who are being disarmed, defunded, and persecuted each and every day. He could no longer stand to see words like Christmas stripped from public use, or the Pledge of Allegiance removed from our schools. But my father saw potential where others saw despair. Donald Trump built the New York City skyline. He did so during a time when businesses were turning away from the city he loved. Crime was rampant. The streets were dirty. but he had the Midas touch, and he turned those streets and neighborhoods into gold. He faced every challenge with tremendous vision and grit. As he did during the 2016 election, he rolled up his sleeves. He remained unapologetic. He did not care to be politically correct. He restored hope. He restored a voice to millions of Americans who had been ignored. He restored the American dream. Under my father's leadership, the economy climbed to record heights. Jobs were created at an unthinkable pace. Unemployment reached historic lows across all demographics. Wage growth soared. He cut taxes for hardworking families and businesses. He slashed regulations. We saw the greatest 401k increase in American history. People bought their first homes in an environment that saw 2 to 3% interest rates. They started their families. My father made the United States energy independent with the lowest gas prices in decades.
Yeah, he did.
United States safe. Our borders were closed. There was peace in the Middle East. Soleimani, al-Baghdadi, the terrorists were dead. My father made the United States respected again. With the courage to walk into countries like North Korea, with the courage to impose tariffs on China, and with the courage to tear up trade deals that cost Americans their jobs. He brought manufacturing back to America. Small businesses flourished. He did what he promised. He put America first. We were winning. Donald Trump made America great again. But he also created a movement that threatened the special interests and the political elites. A movement that cast a bright light on the institutions weaponized against the American people. You see it in our schools. God bless the moms who fought back.
Yes. You're okay. You're okay.
You see it in your workplace. You see it on every news station, in every newspaper. You see it in the military. The most iconic military installations on planet Earth are stripped of their identity and renamed. Fort Bragg, Benning, Fort Hood. You see it in Hollywood. You see it in our two-tier judicial system. They don't even fight it anymore. My father has been censored. The former president ripped off Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook while terrorist organizations remain intact.
Yup.
My father has been persecuted, targeted by far-left Democrats, funded by special interest groups, and hand-picked judges. My father has been pulled off the ballots of states, radical justices attempting to defy the will of millions of Americans who adore who he is and what he stands for. My father even became the targeted assassin who almost killed America's single greatest hope for our future. The swamp is terrified of this incredible movement.
And the
They're terrified of it. They're terrified of you and the tens of millions of people watching us on TV right now. They've tried everything to keep him from you, everything. To destroy his legacy, to destroy his family. They have failed and they will not win. I love my Florida delegation right here. Thank you. My father stands before you with the most votes of any Republican candidate in the history of our nation.
Yep.
He has defied the predictions of every political pundit. He fills stadiums across our country. He energizes Americans to the issues facing this nation and does so with unvarnished honesty. He is not a threat to democracy. He is a threat to those who despise our republic, many whom are bought and sold, bribed and coerced, people who have never signed the front of a check, and who have been dependent on the government their entire adult lives.
Joe Biden, basically.
Today, as it was in 2016, America's at that crossroads again. Energy prices are soaring, interest rates are crippling, everything is unaffordable. The US dollar has been diminished, inflation has made it impossible for Americans to live, to save for their future. Our infrastructure is crumbling, our border is out of control. Millions are dead and displaced in Russia and Ukraine, a war that has no end, and a war that we are funding. The Middle East has become a hornet's nest. Our greatest ally, Israel, totally under siege. Fentanyl is killing our youth and destroying families, while the current administration stands idly by, hoping their inaction will import illegal votes. Crime terrorizes our cities and our suburbs as far-left policies handcuff police. Male athletes, guys my height, 6'5", are swimming in women's sports. Destroying the dreams of young girls who have trained every minute of their lives. We no longer trust our elections. We no longer trust our judicial system. And we no longer believe that our government is working in our best interest.
Nope, you want to convince me of that.
In spite of where we are today as a nation, I'd like to speak to every American. To the homeless veteran, sleeping under a bridge, as illegal immigrants are housed in the most expensive hotels in New York.
Just not Trump Tower.
I'm sorry. We know it's wrong, and we will fix it. To the single mother who can no longer afford her rent, afford groceries, and has been forced to work 3 jobs, I'm sorry. It does not have to be this way. To the parents who lost a son or daughter to fentanyl, including the incredible woman that spoke the other night, while an administration does absolutely nothing. I'm sorry. Your government can do so much better, and it will.
I don't like that cheese.
To the children
Walmart
who are
brand.
being brainwashed, I'm sorry. There are teachers who care, and my father will empower them.
Is it? Yeah. I don't like that as no food. Do you?
Yeah. To the law enforcement officers, our brave border patrol, Secret Service agents who work every single day to protect our communities, knowing damn well that the system will throw you under the bus, I'm sorry. We will stand behind you. To commuters, often petrified to take a bus, take a train, or walk the streets in cities across our nation, I'm sorry. That man right there will fix this.
Yep.
I'll give you a ride.
To the construction workers, to the middle-class families, to the families with children with disabilities, families who can no longer afford medical benefits or to take a vacation, I'm sorry. We will make America great again. And to my father, who has been ruthlessly silenced, slandered, and attacked by a corrupt administration, I'm sorry. We know, and America knows, that they're not just after you, they're after all of us, and you just happen to be standing in their way.
Yep. That's what I've been saying.
Americans watching tonight, the greatest retribution will be our success. Success not just for ourselves, but for our grandchildren and our children. Under President Donald J. Trump, the swamp will be drained. America will be respected. Our cities will be safe. Our streets will be clean. And our border will once again be secure. We will have peace. We will have prosperity. Your hard-earned tax dollars will enrich a better America, not be squandered in corrupt foreign nations. Education will be handed back to the states. We will no longer be 30th in the world. We will be first.
Sorry, TikTok.
Our children will understand family, our children will have values, and our children will love God.
There you go, people.
Our country will prioritize free speech, respect freedom of religion, and honor our Constitution. As his son, I've never been more proud of a person in my life. A man who has defied all odds more than once. A man who believed in the promise of America when others turned away. A man who saw a nation in need of a champion and answered that call with unwavering determination and courage. A man who survived a bullet that was intended to eliminate him permanently from our future and from our family. Never have I been more proud to be a Trump. Never have I been more proud to stand by my father's side. I remain incredibly honored to be part of this journey, a journey with all of you. A journey to save the greatest country on earth. A journey with the most incredible people I have ever met. Dad, 5 days ago, Laura, Luke, Carolina, and I held our breath as we saw blood pour across your face. By the grace of God, divine intervention, and your guardian angels above, you survived. You are the greatest fighter I have ever seen. You are strong, you are full of life, and you are unapologetic. Your optimism is contagious. Your backbone is unbreakable. Your conviction to fight for what is right and against all that is wrong is truly next level. The whole world saw your strength as you stood up. You wiped the blood off your face, and you put your fist in the air in a moment that will be remembered as one of the most courageous acts in the history of American politics. You shouted, "Fight! Fight! Fight!" I'm honored to be your son. I'm honored to speak to our great nation tonight. You are a true leader. You epitomize strength. Our country loves you. Our country appreciates you. Our country misses you. And on November 5th, our country will re-elect you as the 47th President of the United States of America.
God willing. Obama.
Good night, Milwaukee. God bless you all.